This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer, and I'm here today with Douglas Gibson, the new mayor of Oak Hill. Mr. Gibson, thank you for letting me be here with you today in the City Hall.
My pleasure.
So you did very well in the November 6th election, and you're the new mayor, and that seems like it's so long ago now, and Christmas is what, a couple of weeks away?
A couple of weeks, yes.
And speaking of Christmas, you had your holiday Christmas parade
Yes,
today.
we did. Very successful. A lot of people from Oak Hill. We had the elected chair, Jason Davis, was in the parade.
From the county council.
From the county. We had New Smyrna Beach senior band and the middle school band were also in.
The Cooties.
Yes.
And they were in Edgewater earlier.
Yes, yes.
Well, this is the Sunday conversation, of course. And Mr. Gibson, tell us what you have looking forward as the year winds down. Well, before we look forward, tell us how you feel about how we got here with you, for example. Because you were new, right?
Yes. I was appointed in 2011 to an open vacancy. And during that course of time, I got involved with the Oak Hill PD. And
that was a pretty intense time for us in terms of, the investigative reporting.
Yes, it was. Y'all had some intense reporting on individuals within the department that were creating problems.
Well, it just seemed like stealing gas, things missing from a Christmas fund.
Taking tests for other officers.
Taking tests for other officers.
Yes. It was really bad.
The potential of shaking down drug dealers.
Yes.
Arrests and unarrests. And then, of course, the whole specter of a chief of police with a drug past that ultimately caught up with her. I mean,
there was many things that your reporting laid out, but the underlying issues became really critical because of creating an unsafe environment for the officers to work. The officers were pitted.
Isn't that pretty much when you stepped in?
Yes, it came to a head.
At one point, she lost all three of her sergeants.
Yes, she had them all on administrative leave because of investigation.
A lot of infighting on this dais too. It was very split commission.
Yes, there was a number that favored Diane and keeping Diane Young, the chief, keeping her in her office. There were others that had an open mind of the management style that she was creating, which in my opinion was managing through intimidation.
But in fairness to her too, the salaries are so pitiful.
Oh, $12 an hour for an officer.
It was hard to find A-caliber recruits that would come to a small community like this to work for the pay that was obviously among the worst in the county, maybe even the state.
In her defense, the commissioners did not want her just to hire people that were out of the academy. So therefore, you had to go out and find officers that would work for $12 an hour.
And a lot of them are retreads that got fired elsewhere.
Well, they weren't fired per se. They resigned.
Well, I mean, I've looked at the personnel files. It was pretty clear
you know
cut.
more.
It's pretty clear cut that other than one or two, there were some bad apples. I mean, a guy that turned out, let the drug dealer know the SWAT team was coming in one community. I could go on and on, but now that that's over, the sheriff has taken over. It's been what, a year and a half?
Year and a half.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's excellent.
I know it's probably the same cost.
Excellent service. The city is saving a little bit of money. We just had an increase with our new budget, but even with that increase, we're still $30,000 below what the city was paying.
How many lawsuits do you still have pending because of the fallout of the municipal police force?
We have two.
Two left.
Two left.
So as we wind down on that, and the sheriff's office under Ben Johnson's doing like you said, you feel they're doing a great job.
Doing a great job.
No complaints.
None from any of the citizens or anything.
And because you don't have the hassle of having to deal with problem children in the police department, and that's something they do. That gives you a lot to focus on other things, right?
Yes, it does. It opens up where basically the city does not have the worry about replacing equipment, replacing officers, paying officers for administrative leave because they've done something and an investigation is pending, which was going on prior to. So now we can concentrate on more things like increasing the infrastructure, bringing water and sewer into Oak Hill.
Now, let's get to that now. The year is winding down, Christmas, Hanukkah, the holiday season is in its full swing right now. The economy still is rough, I would assume, especially in Oak Hill, where
yes.
there aren't a lot of job opportunities and business opportunities. What would be your priority going into the new year? Sewer and water?
Our priority is to look at every option that the city could have through grants, through partnerships.
Now, would these be things that would be done in phases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The city had already had engineers come in, laid out the phases for sewer and water. So all of that has been done, but all of that sat for roughly 2 years and nothing has happened. So after the first of the year, that's going to be one of the primary. Another thing that the city is with the waterfront. We have a waterfront committee that is now super active, and they're looking to expand the oyster beds and everything. In fact,
is there a possibility maybe at some point of making that into a tourist attraction?
I'm sure that
it is.
Yeah, I think down the line, that's going to be the main focus, is to bring people. I mean, we've got Seminole Rest. Yeah, you've got a certain amount of people that come here. We now have the trail, the bike trail, walk trail that's being produced, Brevard County, Volusia County, and I think Flagler County too. So we've got that, and it comes right down River Road. So with that in mind, we're going to have more tourists. We also have SpaceX, which is down in Shiloh Road, which is at the southern part of
what is
the
SpaceX?
city. They're proposing a launch site, and I heard.
You mean for missiles?
Yes, I heard yesterday.
Like a NASA?
Yes, I heard yesterday that they got a $5 million environmental grant to see if they can proceed.
Is this a private venture?
It's a private venture. I mean, there's government money involved because that's where the grant money came from and everything. But Oak Hill has to proceed.
Well, let me ask you this.
And get ready.
Oak Hill has struggled over the years with having enough revenue. Obviously, this police department imploded in part because the finances just weren't there to get strong personnel. You don't have your own fire department.
No.
What do you have, like 2,000 people in this town?
Maybe
less?
Yes, about 2,000.
With limited industry, basically no industry, and I guess you'd have to phase in the sewer and water over a period of years.
Yes.
It's a tough question to ask, but you lost the police department. Could you lose the city? Could it unincorporate?
That's a possibility.
I know there's been petitions, and they've all been defeated, and there's been all this talk.
I think now, I mean, just to give you an example, this election, there was, out of the 1,338 registered voters within the city of Oak Hill, 940.
It's a pretty strong percentage, it turned out.
That turned out. That tells me that people are interested in what's going on. And I'm just talking about the mayor's
Well,
race.
you think they were also energized by the police department thing turning out better than the post-police department thing turning out better than maybe what was anticipated?
I think so. I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
And getting with the thing about the city, whether it's viable, I mean, to be real about it, you're the only elected person among the 5 elected by the people. Others have either been appointed initially, and then didn't have any opposition to run. But right now, Oak Hill has the distinction of having one.
I think Kathy Biddle was.
She was elected before,
and
they get reappointed.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, for people that would be contesting, yours is the only contested seat, and you're really the only person elected by the. In an election cycle, you're the only one.
Yes.
That's a new.
Yes.
That's a new standard in Volusia County.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened before. Oak Hill seems to have its lows of lows, and then somehow Oak Hill still seems to pick itself up and keep going. The little engine that could, I guess.
Well, I think, like I said, I think the citizens now have more interest in what's going to happen. I think the faction, you still got the faction that doesn't think the city needs to be here, but you've got more that think it needs to be here. And it's necessary from the standpoint that they want to be able to say, okay, we want to control.
Do you see a better blend now
on the commission?
On the dais?
Yes, yes.
Two quick questions and we'll wrap it up. What's the most aggravating or frustrating part of the job for you as a part-time mayor here?
That I can't get things done in a hurry.
Because of finances or time?
Well, because of finances, because of resources, because what's available to a city I mean, just water and sewer. The first phase is $8 million. Now,
you're a retired trooper.
Yes.
You know that things come in time and you have to be patient.
You know, like somebody said to me, what do you expect out of your 4 years? If I can see them digging a ditch to put in water and sewer, starting the project, because I've realized that it's not something that's going to happen next year. Everything, you've got so many steps that have to be completed.
I would assume that would be one of the achievements and one of the joys.
Oh, if I could see it at the end of the tunnel that they were starting that project, then I've done a good job.
Well, for Mayor Douglas Gibson of the City of Oak Hill, this is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer, and this has been the Sunday Conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome.